at one point I had to go to a lot of funerals, but I won't get too much into why. But at least that helped me look at. So I get to listen to many different eulogies, and it's almost this Amazon way of living life, I guess. You live your life backward from the moment of your own eulogy and how you want people to speak about you at the end of life, and none of them talk about his or her work. I can tell you that right now. Maybe except to like how that work changed people's lives, etc. And no one said, "Well, you did that Excel spreadsheet, you did that project, really knocked it out of the park." No one cared at your end of life. So I think I would just in that being average at the point you want to, and serving the goal of your end of life goals that you want to achieve by the time you're 6 feet on the ground.
That's such a great way to look at it, because that really is like, they've done so many studies of, quotes of what people say before they pass away. And not a single person says, "I wish I worked more." It's always, "I wish I spent more time with family. I wish I had asked that person out." It's like regrets, right? And so living life in a way that minimizes the regrets you're going to have at the end, I think is pretty aspirational, right? And especially because, jump in.
No, some people might have regret about not really excelling when it was time to excel. I'll say that I definitely have some regrets on that. Like, hey, when I was in my early 20s, I could have done more. Point is, there's time to excel or time to go hard, if you will, or what you think is achieving and being above average. And there's time to dial back because life is more important, and achieving everything, in terms of work anyways, it's not the end all be all of everything.
Yeah. And have you seen the video that Josh Fluke did? Or do you know who Josh Fluke, the YouTube guy is?
Yeah, I did. At one point it was on our website because I thought it was fun just to, put on there for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And he always makes a point where it's like, when you're working at a job, let's say you bust your ass, you work 80, 90 hours that week to get a project done. Your reward is just the next project. There's no break. There's no bonus. There's nothing. It's just, okay, good. You got that done. Here's more work, right? And so there's really not any sort of incentive within the company structure to get things done quickly, which is why you have so many people who, according to the statistics, on average, are only working 4 hours a day. I mean, that's the average amount of time people work in their job at work, like sitting at their desk. And so, you have all these companies trying to implement tracking software to like look at people's faces, or all these different things that are being implemented to sort of squeeze out every bit of productivity from people. But what I hear from clients all the time is that they finish their work at like 2, 3 p.m. and then they sit there kind of pretending to work until 6 p.m. because they don't want to be seen as the first person leaving the office. And it's such an interesting sort of, mind fuck in a way of like, this is what we're doing. We're almost like pretending to work, right? We're like putting on airs in order to seem productive, in order to potentially get a promotion or something like that. And I think the world of working remote is kind of blowing that all up, right? Like now, if you want to go to the gym, right? You work remote, you can check from your phone, you can do all sorts of different things. So how much do you think our new sort of remote environment is impacting this, and and allowing this to even be the case? Because like, could you pull this off when we were all in person in the office, or what are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely probably could not pull that off while you're in office and go to a beach and then come back. I think though there were times where we have team lunches and stuff, and it was extended, and then it was basically supervised and allowed. But yeah, I mean, I would say, I think my initial, thought that came to my mind is just people being cruel to each other. Because in our life, in an 80-year lifespan, you have 4,000 weeks to live. This time is ticking. You can just keep counting down. It's the most precious resource. And if we're spending our precious resources sitting there or FaceTime, like I did in banking, which completely tell me this is a garbage industry, then for money, then there's other things to do for money. You don't need to waste your time here. And every human have their own, productivity curve, if you will. just based on their education, experience, how fast they can read, etc., and how fast they can code or how creative they can code, how they go about it. And I would say, you should just live life to your highest level of contribution, not your highest level of participation. So if you think you can contribute somewhere else better and faster, that's market forces, right? Because that's how economic productivity and efficiency is squeezed out of. You are contributing at your highest level of contribution. This is where you make the biggest bang for your buck for the economy and for yourself. So if you're finding yourself just sitting there marking time, there's no reason to be there. I think that's probably should be in the telltale sign of a signal that you should look at a career change to something else where you feel more fulfilled and you don't have to do this. You don't have to play this game or a different job in the same industry, whatever. That's more lenient. Now, I'll say all those companies that have those tracking things down, and maybe it's just a sub niche industry or whatever. But for knowledge worker, good luck retaining them. Good luck competing for them because they'll just take a hike and go to the next different company that won't do that and focus more on output instead of participation or management by participation.